Welcome to Tech Teach.
In the OSI model and TCP/IP model, we have already seen like there are different layers. So basically, if we talk about the TCP/IP model, so there will be different layers, like 5 different layers are there. The lowest layer, that is the physical layer. So in that physical layer, basically this physical layer connects the physical devices. So two systems are there, both will be having the same setup. So this will be the physical layer of the another system or device. Then to communicate, we require a medium. So there should be a medium that is required for data transmission. So this is the transmission medium basically. So this physical layer is directly going to connect with the transmission medium. Here it is the same setup is given. A sender is there and a receiver is there. So once we want to send the data, or sender and receiver wants to communicate, they should be communicating with some medium. That medium will be the transmission medium, and this transmission medium will be directly connected with the physical layer of the TCP/IP model. This transmission medium will be directly in contact with the physical layers of the sender and the receiver. And in case of like why there is a requirement of transmission medium, because whenever we are sending data or communicating with between any other device, then we should be requiring the transmission medium. Without a medium, we can't transmit. Even if we are transmitting, like if two persons are sitting together and one is talking with the other, in that case also there is a medium required. So that medium is basically the air. So air is another medium that through which we are basically going to send our data, or we want to send our voice so that other can hear them. Okay. So air can be a medium, or we can have a cable. We can have a direct cable. We will be going to convert analog data to digital signal, or analog data is going to convert into the analog signal. So whenever we are having a data, we need to convert it into a signal. So this signal can be transmitted through the transmission medium. Again, here receiving end, there will be a signal. It should be converted to data again. So this conversion part we have already seen in the module 1. Okay. So analog to digital, digital to analog, analog to analog, and digital to digital. We have already seen the conversion. So data can be of analog and digital form. And after conversion, the signals can be analog and digital signals. So these signals should be transmitted through the transmission medium. So this medium can be a wire, or it can be directly an air also. So in case of air, it is called like free space. Whenever a data communication needs to be done, there is a requirement of, first of all, transmission medium. There should be a transmission medium. Okay. So this transmission medium can be like free space, or it could be having a cable also. Okay. So there should be a transmission medium. Along with that, we should be having a data, or we can say an information should be there. So this information will be in the form of signals. So for a data communication, we will be requiring a transmission medium and an information. In 19th century, basically the data was sent in the form of electrical signals with the help of the telegraph. Telegraph was the technique through which it was done. It was basically proposed by Morse, but it was having the slow speed, or data sending rate was very slow, and also it depends on the metallic cable. And these metallic cable have some resistance, and it can have some interference, and also it can have some loss. There is a requirement to have a better system. So after this telegraph, basically in 1869, the telephones were discovered. So by this, a person can send their voice to a long distance with the help of telephone system. So initially, these telephones were like landline telephones were there, so that were dependent on wires and cables. But after that, because of the poor quality in that, there is a wireless transmission came. So wireless system came in 1895. So this wireless system was proposed by Hertz. Hertz was the scientist that basically proposed the wireless system. By this wireless system, we can use high frequency to transmit the signals from one location to another location. And after that, there was another scientist, Marconi. You might have already know these names. This Marconi basically done some modifications into this hot system and created a system that are the method that can send data in the form of signals. Data is converted into signals. So these signals to a very high range locations. So that is proposed by the Marconi. So different scientists were there. So it is like starting with sending a message with the help of telegraph. We were having the telephones, then wireless, then advanced wireless, likewise. So different were adopted for data transmission. So for this data transmission, there were some mediums that were required. So these transmission mediums were playing important role. If the transmission medium is good, we were sufficient with the wired like telephone ones, but it is not having that much of quality. So there is a requirement of wireless system that have better performance and better quality. So there comes another advancement. Likewise, we will be switching from lower technology to higher technology based on the requirements. So we will just go through like what different types of transmission medium are there. So here the classes of transmission medium. So transmission medium are basically divided into different types. So one of the two basic types are like the guided transmission medium. Another one is unguided transmission medium. So guided in the sense the one that will be using the wired system. So if the wired system is there, that will be called the guided transmission medium. Another one is unguided, so it will be a wireless system. So wired means we will be going through the different types of wires that are basically used for data transmission. So the one of the first one is the twisted pair cables, then there comes coaxial cable, and then the fiber optic cable. So all this we will see one by one, and after that in unguided, that is wireless transmission medium, we will see the free space. So in free space, how the transmission basically takes place, we will be seeing this here. The twisted pair cables and coaxial cables, these are like in the previous cases, like in the start of the telegraph, basically they were using the wires, but that wires were not that efficient. So therefore there are different advancements in the wires also. So one of the most frequently used wires even nowadays are twisted pair cables and coaxial. These are not used nowadays for long distance communications. Nowadays optical fiber cables are basically used. They are having better efficiency and also less prone to noise. So that's why the optical fiber cables are most widely used. Also, it is having the high data based on advantages of different categories. The optical fibers are preferred in case of guided or wired type of communication. In case of free space, basically there can be like air, or we can use the vacuum or water. So these can be the mediums considered like free space. So mostly we will be considering the air only. Out of the different categories, we will be comparing each of the categories based on different performance parameters. So if we are using airs or the free space, we require the modulation and demodulation. So we already know like what is modulation and demodulation. So in modulation, we will be superimposing the low frequency signal with high frequency signals to have low noise or long distance signal transmission. So that is done by using the modulation technique. So we will just see one by one what is twisted pair, what is coaxial cable, and what is fiber optics, and then we will be going with the unguided or wireless system, that is the free.